Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today on FCA regulation and wind down planning. Are you prepared? By way of content, I will start with an introduction, and then I'm going to talk about the background to wind down planning and generally setting the scene for the contents for today's webinar. I will also be speaking about the FCA guidance that's out there on wind down planning. I'm going to be talking about the general principles of what really constitutes a wind down plan, and take you through the various sections that you'd expect to see in a well-written wind down plan. I will then move on to the various reviews that the FCA have undertaken on wind down planning. The first one is TR 22.1, Observations on Wind Down Planning, which was market-wide, and the second one was more specific to the general insurance intermediary sector, and that's the FCA's multi-firm review. And then I'm going to give you some observations on where I feel we are now with wind down planning. These are personal observations, but in terms of where I think the FCA is going with the whole subject. And finally, I will give you some conclusions and where I think the next steps are. So in terms of introduction, my name is Paul Goldwyn. I'm a partner in the Financial Services Division at PKF Littlejohn, and I specialize in the insurance intermediary sector, which I have audited and advised for close to 35 years now. But I'm also very involved in FCA regulatory advice, particularly around prudential issues such as client money, resilience, and more recently, wind down planning. So for the purposes of this webinar, I'm going to go back to first principles, really, and assume minimal knowledge of wind down planning. So apologies in advance if this doesn't cater for everyone, but I'm hoping that we'll be picking up the momentum pretty soon. Just to say that wind down planning applies to all FCA regulated firms, and in particular, all those firms that are solo regulated, and it applies across all sectors. So although you will hear me speak primarily about the insurance intermediary market, the principles apply across all sectors, and I will be referencing later parallels with other sectors in the market. MBL will be sharing my contact details, and I will be happy to take any questions that you may have on wind down planning arising from this seminar, either by email or in person if you are attending the wind down planning seminar that MBL are holding, and I will be presenting on the 22nd of September.